Hi, everyone. 2019, I went through a really bad time in my life. I went through a bad separation from my ex-husband and a bad separation. When he walked out, basically it was my kids. I had a 2-year-old at the time and a 3-year-old. I was left with a mattress on the floor and a kitchen table. So I had a job, and before I got married, I was always on my own, so it was easier. But when I had kids, it was a different ballgame. I had to take care of my kids. No, by any means, I had to take care of my kids. It was my main focus. So I had ended up going to a shelter with my kids because I couldn't afford the apartment that I was in. I was working at the school board. I wasn't making a whole lot. I was paying $620 a month for daycare, and I still had to provide for food and everything else for my kids. So I ended up going to a shelter, and I probably was there, I don't know, maybe like 4 or 5 months. And I remember my pastor calling me, and she was like, Hope, somebody wants you to call them. And so I called the number. I didn't know why I was calling, and I called, and I thank God. I had got the resilience program through Metro. They told me to bring IDs, birth certificates. Like I said, I still didn't know I was going to. When I got there, it was a folder on the table, and it was a voucher for me to get a place for my kids. And I was so blessed and so honored because I didn't know what I was going to do with my kids. You know, my mom died when I was 15. I lost my dad in 2014. So it was very hard for me because I didn't have nobody but my kids. And I wasn't going to let my kids go to no system, nothing. I was going to make sure that I took care of my children. And that's exactly what I did. So I got into the resilience program. I found the apartment. And they paid my rent for the first 6 months. And after that, it got deducted by $50 every month. So by the time that year was up, COVID hit. And we had got a couple stimulus checks. I was able to take them checks, fix my credit, and save up money to pay up bills and put money up aside for like a rainy day. After I got out of that program, I got accepted to the Family Scholar House. I was there for 3 years. Last year, I graduated with my associate degree in medical assistant. And then after that, I applied for the homeownership program through Section 8. I was blessed I got approved for that. And after that, I was able to buy my home December 23rd last year. Not only that, I also got approved for the REVERT program, and I got approved for down payment assistance. Down payment assistance assisted me with $18,500, and it was such a blessing. I was able to buy me a house for me and my children. They have their own rooms, so it was just a blessing. I stand here today because not only that, I'm a survivor of domestic violence. So not only losing my parents, I was a single mom, and I didn't know A to Z, like I said, when he walked out. So I'm very blessed and honored for all the programs that I use. I use them as a stepping stone to better myself because I wanted better for my kids. I wanted to have generational wealth for my children. So when they get older and they go through some situations I might go, they got a house they can always go home to. They ain't got to worry about going to a shelter. They ain't got to worry about, oh, I don't know where I'm going to live. I'm 44, and I'm so blessed to be a homeowner. And I grew up in the West End and be a homeowner in the West End where I grew up at. So I'm just so blessed and so honored, and I appreciate all of y'all.